Greetings, my friends. I hope I find you well. This is Melusi in Lalambi. Grateful to be here with you today. I hope you can see me. I hope I'm clear where you are. And I'm hoping that you are able to follow me and to hear me loud and clear. And I really thank you for taking time to be here and to watch this video. I have a few things that I would like to share with you and help me as I get ready to share with you a few powerful nuggets about life and about marriage and about relationships. This is really important that we make sure we understand some of the basic principles that will guide you and guard you and protect you from a shipwreck of your relationships. And so today I want to talk primarily on how to avoid emotional affairs. One of the most painful trauma or betrayal traumas is discovering that your spouse has an extramarital affair. It could be emotional, so it's just attachment, but it could be that it's actually sexual. These have gone ahead and become intimate. And often this is preceded by an emotional affair that happens as people get attached to each other. I want to share a couple of points, indicators. I've got 13 of them, so I'll quickly move through them that I think are very important to make sure that even as a married person, you avoid these traps and you avoid these challenges, because you can fall in love with someone if you're not careful. And you can end up being caught up in a web that can destroy you and destroy your marriage and destroy even your investments and your everything you own. And I know no one gets into marriage deliberately saying I'm going to cheat or I'm going to be unfaithful. But lots of married people, men and women alike, are into affairs today, and if they can track it back to where it began, it could just simply because you looked a little bit longer in the wrong direction. You took a little bit more time in that handshake or that hug. You spent a bit more time together. And here are the 13 points that definitely would trigger you into an affair. The first one is that you became too friendly with the opposite sex. Too friendly. Lots of married people get into trouble because they over spiritualize and they take time to think that they can overcome this temptation of saying, I'm strong. But the truth is, you became too friendly, you became too familiar. Hearts are involved here. When you start talking to someone and spending time with them, it just means your hearts are getting to spend more time together and you are going to be drawn into each other. Your hearts are going to start beating at a pace that you feel attracted to each other. So what is important? Set a boundary. There are certain places and certain times you cannot meet. Be disciplined about how you meet with someone and under what circumstances you meet with them. Be cordial. Be cordial. What that means is be respectful, godly, and keep it simple, keep it holy. Don't cross certain boundaries. Avoid certain looks and certain disposures that will attract the other person to be attracted to you. Secondly, avoid sharing your personal problems with the opposite friend or opposite sex friend. Avoid it. When you speak to the opposite person, they get drawn into you because of their feelings for what you're going through, and they start feeling for you, and this will bond you together. And that's where problems begin, when you're bonded because of your problems. The third challenge, the thing you should avoid, is don't contact the opposite sex when you feel that you are fond of them and you are attracted to them. Avoid calling them. because that attraction is going to spark into something bigger. So if you secretly admire someone and you know you love them, you like them, they are very likable to you and you love spending time with you, they affirm you, they make you feel alive, and well, those are the relationships you want to avoid, because they will definitely tingle your heart and they will make you want to connect beyond just the emotions. Point number 4 is avoid unnecessary eye contact that lingers a little bit longer with the opposite sex. It's okay to contact someone facially and meet eye to eye, but if you keep it a bit longer, it could begin to trigger certain emotions and feelings in the person you're looking at. Point number 5, don't tell the opposite sex that you are romantic and you are sexy and you are beautiful, you are gorgeous. All those compliments that you give that person should go to your spouse, not this person who's not your spouse. Because when you do that, you activate the feel-good hormones in that person, and they might want to return the favor by showing you how good they are. Okay, and you might find things getting a bit steamy and difficult right there. Point number 6 is to avoid any discussions with the opposite sex when you are tired, when you are sad, when you are sleepy, or when you are sick and you are frustrated. Avoid deeper conversations because your judgment is clouded and you might make certain pronouncements that may entangle you to the person. And so spend time with your husband or with your wife when you are not well. It will save you the hassle of having to say, oops, I disclosed something that's too personal, or they got access to something that's too personal that they shouldn't have seen. Point number 7, avoid those unnecessary compliments, especially to the opposite sex. You are a woman and you're complimenting the other man. Those compliments can easily get things worked around and confusion happening. So avoid complimenting the opposite sex. I know it's always a temptation to say, hey, you're looking so smart, you're looking so good. And you can do them, yes, fine. But sometimes those are the ones that carry through the mind and someone goes saying, oh, so she's noticing me. And if the person is a weaker person, they're going to have to struggle with containing their joy or their excitement at the fact that you complimented them for how they look. And so let the compliment be necessary. Sometimes it's unnecessary to do it because you're just working up certain emotions and feelings that you may not be able to control later on. Point number 8. This one, many people do it casually, and sometimes they do it with a good heart. Have you ever found yourself saying to someone, I love you, and they are not your wife, they are not your husband? Hello, lovey. Hello, dear. You are using endearing words to someone who's not your wife, not your husband. That can be a challenge. Because why are you saying they are your darling? Why are you saying I love you? For what? It's not necessary. Those are some of the compliments that just break the boundaries and create emotional affairs. Point number 9, work on your marriage. Yes, work on your marriage. Don't go and cultivate the other garden because you look at it and you say it's nice. Oh, this person is good. This guy is well taken care of. He's looking well groomed. Someone did that work, okay, to get them to be there. So don't envy other people's well manicured gardens. Go work on yours. Go work on your marriage. All right. Make sure that you keep the fire burning and the romance alive in your marriage. Do everything you can. Work in your garden and dress it up and make sure it's looking good. Point number 10, protect your family. By that I mean, don't share your marital problems with third parties, especially the opposite sex. It's a friend, it's a workmate, it's a colleague. Just don't. Don't share the troubles you are having with your wife at home or with your husband at home with the opposite sex, you are giving them an unfair advantage and access to information they may use to create an emotional attachment. And over time, that can develop into something that you never intended it to be. Be friendly with people, yes, but set boundaries. There's work colleagues, keep them as work colleagues. There's church colleagues, keep them as church colleagues. Then there's family. That's the circle you need to protect and set boundaries. Don't take what belongs to the family to the church unless it's absolutely necessary. Don't say because your wife cheated on you or your husband cheated on you, so you run to tell the church. They will destroy your marriage because there are people who in the church board, they are itching to gossip about your story. I heard a story of 3 gentlemen who went out for a retreat as guys, and they began to get into a meditational space and say, guys, let's pray together, let's support one another, let's stand with each other. So the other one says, guys, you need to help me because I have a problem with money and I've been stealing church money because I really love just having money and spending it, and I really want to stop the habit. The other one says, oh man, when I'm preaching and I see girls sitting in church and some of them wearing those scanty skirts, I'm really activated and I really feel like I want to have one of them for myself. And the third one was, almost tapping his foot and he was agitated. He was really worked out. And the friends looked at him and said, and for you, what's the problem, man? He says, guys, you've got to pray for me. My problem is that I gossip a lot. So right now I feel the urge of wanting to go and share what you have told me. When you let out something that people should have never heard, you have just given them ammunition to use it in any way they feel they would want to use it. And private information makes rounds across a community where everyone says, between you and me. That between you and me goes to the next one and says, between you and me. Oh, have you heard? Please, between me and you. So between me and you keeps going until the network is bigger. And what I've noticed is that there are so many hypocrites in the Christian faith who would watch you go the wrong way and they'll never tell you because they don't want to be the home breakers. People who know things are happening in your life and they'll never tell you. They'll keep quiet. Those are hypocrites. Those are sons of Belial. Because they cannot back or stand up and rebuke. Jeremiah calls them toothless dogs. And many of them are your pastors. They are your elders. They are your deacons. Respected men who would say, I would not want to tell to be the one. So protect your family by not sharing your marital issues with anyone of the opposite sex, even your close girls, if you're girls and your friends as girls, be very careful what you share with them because it will bond them to you or it will force them to start gossiping about you. Point number 11, never flirt with the opposite sex. Never be suggestive in your language. Never throw in insinuations that make it look like you are interested in them in any way or you are jesting about something and your jokes are a bit crude, which are very suggestive. Be very careful of flirting around and throwing in a rope and pulling it back and throwing in and pulling it back. It can create an emotional storm, especially for men, because men are very visual. So be very careful what you are throwing out there and showing to men. And I know people love to display their bodies. That can be a trap. You love taking pictures showing different angles of your body, your smile, your poses, your eyes are drooping, your lips are this and that. That can be very suggestive to certain people to think that you are available. And they might approach you in a way that indicates they are interested in you. When flowers bloom, bees come naturally running. There's nothing wrong with the flower. It just is absorbing. Its season has come to bloom. But when you bloom yourself and you show yourself too much out there, be careful. Not all insects that come there are bees that are collecting nectar. Some of them are just bumblebees. So watch out who you are flaunting yourself to and making yourself available to. And this also goes with point number 12. Watch out the pictures you are sending out there. I know for some of you, you love just putting it out there. You love just showing what you can do, and you love putting yourself out there. I would say mind the pictures you post on social media. You may have to limit who these are shown to, and be very careful of those pictures that show your flesh and display your curves, display your muscles, because those are the ones that will make you look sexy to people, and they'll think you are available for flaunting, and they'll throw comments out there to make you feel, like you're really this nice person and you're beautiful, you're all of that. You know you are beautiful, so don't flaunt it around. Keep it secure and covered for your husband or for your wife. No one has a right to see your sacred parts of your body. I could go into the details on this one, but let me leave you to understand that any part of yourself that you display inappropriately, which you should have never displayed, can become a hooking point for an inappropriate relationship. Last but not least, some of you have had relationships before. You have what you now call your ex. You've moved on, as people say, you are into a new life, but perhaps you still have your ex. Whether you have a child with them, you were married before, or you were just in an affair. Contacting your ex is a red flag, because you can easily get yourself entangled into an emotional storm, especially after you are married. If you are a married woman or you are a married man and you once had a boyfriend before, never, ever open the door to talk to them again. You moved. You are now in your marriage. What happened in the past stays in the past. This hi, how are you? I was hoping we could touch base and hey, what's happening in your life? Please stay away from your ex. You have no business going there. Stay away and keep your marriage safe. Thank you so much, my friends, for taking time to listen to this. This has been your coach, Melusi. I'll be very happy to hear from you. And if there's anything you want to add, I'll be very happy to hear from you and to talk about it so that we can share and learn from each other. And I pray and I hope that you are sharing these messages with somebody else. And let's make sure we learn from each other. Leave in the comments below what you may be interested to learn from this live stream, and blessings to you. Thank you very much.